Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. So we are discussing from the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and so far we have completed 14 chapters. In all these 14 chapters, the wonderful story of King Rishabdev, Bharat Maharaj, and now Jad Bharat was described. And then after that, the discussion between King Rahugana and Jad Bharat, that was also described. We heard the beautiful allegorical description which Jad Bharat described to King Rahugana to make him detached from this material world and make him completely focused on the spiritual path. And in this way, the 14th chapter ended. So today, in this 15th chapter, this is a very short chapter. In this chapter, the glories of the descendants of King Priyavrat Maharaj, they are described. And it is described by Shukdev Goswami that the Sumati, who was the son of Maharaj Bharat, he followed the path of Rishabdev. Rishabdev, he behaved like a Avadhuta. So this person, Sumati, he followed Rishabdev, and Shukdev Goswami says that was a very nice decision which Sumati took. But people in Kali Yuga who are unscrupulous, who are atheistic, who are Pakhanda, and who are Anarya, they will imagine him to be Lord Buddha. So this Sumati, he married Vriddhasena, and then he begot Devajit. Devajit married Asuri and begot Devadyumna, who married Dhenumati, and from him Parameshwi was born, and Parameshwi married Suvarchala, and they begot Pratiha. So Pratiha, he was very well established in the path of self-realization, and he propagated the principles of self-realization very nicely, and thus he purified himself by directly remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the particular word which was used by Shukdev Goswami is Anusmara. So Anusmara means he was always remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada in the purport, he focuses on this word Anusmara. And Prabhupada writes that God consciousness is not imaginary or concocted. So whatever we have heard from superior authorities, we have to remember that. We cannot remember anything imaginary and concocted according to our understanding, according to our mental speculation. We have to follow whatever is given in Parampara. So this Pratiha, he married Suvarchala and begot Pratiharta, Prastota, and Udgata. So these three sons, they were very, very expert in performing all the Vedic rituals. And by those rituals, they propagated the principles of religion. Of these three, Pratiharta, he married Stuti and begot two sons, Aja and Bhuma. So this Bhuma, he married Rishakulya and begot Udgita, who married Devakulya and begot Prastava, who married Nyutsa and begot Vibhu. Vibhu married Rati, begot Prithusena. Prithusena married Akuti and they begot Nakta, who married Druti, and they Nakta and Druti, they begot a very, very powerful personality called Gaya. So Gaya's glories and qualities are described in choicest words by many great sages. This Gaya, he was Raja Rishi Pravara. Raja Rishi Pravara means he was the most exalted among all the saintly order kings. So Raj Rishi means one who is the king among saint among the kings. Raja Rishi. So this Gaya, he was a Raj Rishi Pravar. Pravar means he was the best of all the Raj Rishis. As it is described about Uddhava also. Vrishninam Paravaro Mantri Krishnasya Daita Sakha Shishyo Brihaspate Sakshat Uddhavo Buddhisattama. So Uddhava, he is also described as Vrishninam Pravaro Mantri. Of all the ministers of Krishna in the Vrishni dynasty, Uddhava was the best of all the ministers. So Gaya is also described as Raja Rishi Pravar. And then he is described as Udar Shravaha. He was a very pious king. He was situated in Shuddha Sattva quality. That is a quality. That is a wonderful uh, qualification and characteristic of a devotee. He is situated in Shuddha Sattva. He is transcendental. He is beyond the three modes of material nature, and therefore he was Mahapurusha. Mahapurusha means he was the chief leader of the whole human society. And just like Lord Vishnu, he sets and establishes the right example for everyone to follow. This Gaya, he established such very wonderful qualities so that everybody could follow and attain the success of life. So this Gaya, just like any devotee king, he ruled his kingdom very nicely. And there are six qualities of the uh, rule of Gaya is described. First of all, he was giving prajapalan, doing prajapalan. He was giving all the protection and security to all the citizens of his kingdom. Then he was doing poshana. Poshan means he was arranging sufficient food for all of them to so that nobody would suffer from starvation. Then prirana. Prirana means sometimes he would distribute gifts also to the citizens so that everybody would be satisfied. Nobody in the kingdom would complain anytime. Then upapalana. Upapalan means he would conduct meetings and he would satisfy the citizens with sweet words. So this is a very, very important when it comes to managing things. We should go on continuously, regularly we should arrange meetings and we should satisfy all the members of our uh, whatever whomever we are dealing with. So that was Gaya's main duty. He was meeting all the citizens, satisfying them with sweet words. Then Anushashan means he was giving them good instructions so that everybody can become first class citizen. That is the duty of a king. He should see that everybody in the city should become a first class citizen, and that is who is a first class citizen, the person who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So that's how Krishna, whenever he wants the citizens and all the living entities to come back to the spiritual world, he always arranges for a saintly personality, just like Yudhishthir Maharaj, just like Prithu Maharaj. So all these saintly personalities, they were put in the position of king because when they are ruling, then for they will make sure that all the kingdoms, all the citizens, they become Krishna conscious. And in this way, he was giving them good instructions, Anushashan, and he was performing sacrifices. So that was Gaya as a king. And now Shukdev Goswami describes that Gaya, he was a pure, unalloyed devotee of the Lord also. He was fully surrendered to the Supreme Lord, and he was always full of love for Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was engaged in continuous devotional service, and in this way he was completely free from bodily conception. And therefore, because he was Brahman realized, he was not proud. And then Shukdev Goswami says that learned scholars of the Puranas, they glorify Gaya with choicest verses. First of all, they glorify the unparalleled activities of a king, of Gaya as a king. So this Gaya, he performed all the Vedic rituals very nicely. He was respected by all. He was learned in all the scriptures. And then he was protector of Dharma. He was possessor of all the good, wonderful qualities. He had, although he had all the kingly opulence, but he was very, very gentle and humble. He was servant of the devotees. That is the very wonderful qualification of a devotee. Sat sevakaha. Sat sevaya purusha kutasthasya madudvisha ratiraso bhavetivra padayor vyasanardanaha. That's how the knowledge which we acquire becomes realization when we serve the devotees. So Gaya, he was the servant of his devotees, servant of the devotees of the Lord. So that's how Gaya is described. And then because of such wonderful qualities of Gaya, the Daksha, his daughters, they were like the mother of Gaya. They were in relation as mother. So they gave all their blessings to Gaya, and they would give him all the affection. And Mother Earth, she was so much happy seeing the wonderful qualities of Gaya that she satisfied all the desires of his citizens. We saw in the pastime of Prithu Maharaj when this the Mother Earth was exploited by kings like Vena. She withdrew all the grains and she was not giving any resources to all the citizens. So when King Prithu Maharaj, when he became the king and he demanded that why are you not giving the grains and the whatever required things to my citizens? So that time Mother Earth, she said that I have kept all the grains in my womb because I don't want to give them to unscrupulous people. So that's why when Mother Earth is ruled by very, very saintly and religious personalities, devotees of the Lord, so then she also becomes very happy and she gives all the requirements in abundance. So that's why Prabhupada would always say that this is a success of Krishna consciousness. When the whole world becomes Krishna conscious, then naturally a Mother Earth will provide all the necessities of life and nobody will go hungry. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, unless a king or ruler is blessed by authorities, he cannot rule the citizens very satisfactorily. Through the good qualities of the ruler, the citizens become very happy and well qualified. So if any of the kings or any of the leader, they want to become successful, or anyone in this world, they want to become successful, they have to first take blessings of the authorities. So therefore, Gaya, because he was ruling the kingdom so very nicely, everybody was so very happy and satisfied that Vedas yielded all the desires to Gaya. Gaya, although he had no personal desires, he had no desire for sense gratification, but still, all the Vedic rituals, whatever he would do, he would get all the success in all the rituals. We hear the story of Yudhishthir Maharaj also. Sampada kritavo loka mahishi bhrataro mahi jambu dvipadipatyam cha yashascha tridigamangatah. This comes in the first canto. So the Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was so very opulent, so very famous. Mahishi Bhrataro Mahi, along with his queen Draupadi and all the brothers, they were so very famous and opulent that Jambu Dvipadhipatyam cha, they were the ruler of all the Jambu Dvipa. And from now onward, today onwards, we'll be discussing the cosmology also. We'll see what is Jambu Dvipa and what are its various varshas and everything. So this Yudhishthir Maharaj was not only the ruler of this earth, He was the ruler of whole Jambu Dweepa. And he was so very famous that even denizens of heaven, they would hear the glories of Yudhishthir Maharaj in heavenly planets. And they were many times envious of Yudhishthir Maharaj. So that was the glory of Gaya. He got all the desires fulfilled by the practice of Vedic rituals. Then Kshatriyas were satisfied because Gaya, he was fighting in a dharmic way. So they would offer tribute to him. Just like Yudhishthir Maharaj, when he sent Arjuna to all over Jambu Dweepa, all the saintly kings, they very happily accepted Yudhishthir Maharaj because they knew Yudhishthir Maharaj is the foremost of the personalities who deserves to become the king of whole Jambu Dweepa. So that's how Gaya also was. And then Brahmanas, because Gaya was giving so much charity to Brahmanas and giving all the protection to the Brahmanas so that they could perform all the rituals properly, they were very, very happy. They satisfied Gaya with all their blessings, and they contributed 1/6 of their pious activities for his benefit in his next life. Then about Vaishyas, Vaishyas, they also satisfied Gaya by kind words and affectionate dealings. And the Shudras, they satisfied the king Gaya by sumptuous food and charity. They were satisfied, they were satisfied by Gaya's sumptuous food and charity. Indra, he became so happy that he would come in the sacrifice of Gaya, and he was given this somarasa, and he became intoxicated by drinking this somarasa. To such an extent, Gaya was such a devoted king that even Lord Vishnu would come and he would accept all the sacrifices which King Gaya offered with pure and firm devotion. So therefore, when the Supreme Lord is pleased, all the devatas, humans, animals, birds, bees, creepers, trees, and all the living entities up to Brahma, they are automatically pleased. The famous verse in Bhagavatam says that Yatha tarormul nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashakha pranopahara chathendriyanam sarvar anam yatha achyutejya. Just like if you want to water the tree, you water the root of the tree, and by watering the root of the tree, all the parts of the tree are nourished. Similarly, by satisfying and worshipping the Supreme Lord Vishnu, everybody in this world, the whole universe becomes pleased. So therefore, the Lord, who is the life of the universe, Vishwa Jivaha, and he is the very form of satisfaction. When Lord is satisfied, everybody is satisfied. So he personally appeared in the sacrifice of Gaya and he said, O king, I am very pleased with you. So now further, Shukdev Goswami describes the further generations of Gaya. So Gaya married Gayanti and begot Chitraratha, Sugati, and Avarodhana. Then Chitraratha, he married Uma and begot Samrata, who married Utkala and begot Marichi, who married Bindumati, who and begot Bindu. This Bindu married Saragha and begot Madhu, who married Sumana, whom and they begot Veeravrata. Veeravrata married Bhoja and they begot Mantu and Pramantu. So Mantu married Satya and begot Bhavana, who married Dushana and begot Twashta and Viraja. Twashta married Virochana, Viraja married Vishuchi, and Viraja from marriage with Vishuchi begot Shatajit. Shatajit had 99 sons, along with the 99 sons and one daughter. So this Viraja was also a very, very famous king. It is described about Viraja that because of his high qualities and wide fame, Viraja decorated the dynasty of King Priyavrat, just as demigods just as Lord Vishnu decorates the demigods. So this is the end of the 15th chapter, and now we'll begin a very, very interesting and most technical, not the most technical, but one of the technical sections of Bhagavatam, that is Jambu Dvipa and cosmology. So if you are just hearing this lecture and not seeing the slides, then it will be very, very difficult to understand, because many of the things, if not seen, then it will be not possible for anyone to understand. So we'll be discussing so many things and we'll be showing so many slides. So I request that everybody please see the slides so that they can at least have little understanding. Of course, to understand everything is not easy in such an online thing. But if you are not seeing the slides, then you'll not be able to understand anything. So now, Parikshit Maharaj, he had heard in first chapter of the 5th canto, first chapter, 31st verse, that Priyavrat Maharaj, he created 7 oceans and 7 islands when he was driving on his chariot. So Parikshit Maharaj now, he asks about that description of Bhumandala. So he says, "O Shukdev Goswami, you have spoken about that Bhumandala. So please explain, what is this Bhumandal? This Bhumandal extends as far as sunshine goes, and as far as the sun and the stars, moon and the stars can be seen. Please describe this Bhumandal." And Prabhupada writes there that according to modern science, sunshine reaches Earth from a distance of uh, 9 crore 30 lakh miles. If we calculate according to the modern information, this can be considered the radius of Bhumandal. So now we heard the story of Priyavrat. One time Priyavrat, he was not happy with the sun, because when sun revolves around Meru mountain, half of the Jambudweep only would get, half of the Bhumandal would only get the light of sun. So he was dissatisfied with that. So personally, he became the second sun. So Shukdev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj is asking that this Priyavrat Maharaj, he wanted to light the entire universe. So he personally, he expanded himself into another sun and he started revolving on the opposite direction of the sun, as you can see in this picture. So, and in this way, as he was riding on his chariot, he created 7 ditches, and that became the oceans. So now Parikshit Maharaj is asking, the rolling wheels of Priyavrat's chariot created 7 ditches in Bhumandal, which became 7 oceans, and divided this whole Bhumandala into 7 islands. Please, now I desire to know the measurements of these oceans and these islands. So that is the question which Parikshit Maharaj is now asking. So it is described by Acharyas that this Priyavrat Maharaj, he was driving, he expanded actually in 7 parts, and sorry, he made 7 chariots, and each chariot was double the previous one. So successively the chariot was bigger and bigger, and similarly the chariot wheel was also bigger in width. So therefore we'll see that the 7 islands of Jambu Dvipa, they are surrounded by oceans, and each ocean is double the previous one. So if you consider the width of first ocean as x, second is 2x, 3x, and like that. So that is the description. Now after this, after asking all these questions, somebody may think, Arey, Parikshit Maharaj, why is asking all these details? Kya zarurat hai, He has only few days left, and he's asking all the calculations of the ocean, what is the dimension, width kitna hai, length kitna hai. Arey, why he has to ask all this? What is the purpose of life? Do you remember Krishna? You should have directly asked Shukdev Goswami, please, enough of all these stories. Please tell me about some pastimes of Krishna, some incarnation of Krishna. So Parikshit Maharaj himself says why he is inquiring in such a way. He says that, "O my Lord, O my spiritual master, when the mind is fixed upon the gross universal form of the Lord." And what is that gross universal form? That is the Jambu Dvipa and Virata Rupa. So he says when the mind is fixed on the gross universal form, then it is very, very easy to remember Krishna. The mind will become completely uh, free from all the material entanglements. As we have discussed in the second canto also, the beautiful verse is spoken by Shukdev Goswami. Mayam varnato mushya ishwarasyanumoditah Shrinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Mayayatma Namuhyati. So it is described there that if we know about the material energy of the Lord, then it will be very easy to be free from the entanglement of the modes of material nature. So therefore, it is interesting and important point to note that Parikshit Maharaj is not asking for himself. And that is the case with everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking for not for himself. Shukdev Goswami Parikshit Maharaj is not asking for himself. In the third canto, we saw, in the second canto, we saw Narad Muni is asking Brahmaji, I think that you are the supreme creator. I think you have created everything. You have taken everything in your hand, just like Amalaki fruit. In third canto, Vidura is asking Maitreya, Sukhaya karmani karoti loko natai sukham vanya duparamam va vindeta bhuya tatayev dukkham yadatra uktam bhagwan vadenna. What is you need for Vidura to ask all this question? Why people are suffering in this world? People want happiness, but they get distress. This is for the welfare of people in general, like all of us. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj, why he is asking all this question? Because he saw that in the audience there were some Bhakti Mishra yogis also, some devotees who had some inclination toward Ashtanga Yoga. They want to know this Virata Rupa of the Lord, the universe. We discussed in the second canto that those yogis who are not free from material attachments, their object of meditation, Dharana Ashraya, is Virata Rupa. What is this Virata Rupa? This universe. So now Parikshit Maharaj is asking for the benefit of those Bhakti Mishra yogis because they will be happy hearing the description of the universe. And therefore, Chakravarti Thakur writes that Parikshit Maharaj is satisfied drinking the Hari Katha from the mouth of Shukdev Goswami. निवृत्ततर्षैरुपगीयमानात् भवौषधाश्रोत्र मनोभिरामा क उत्तम श्लोक गुणानुवादा अहो विरज्येत विना पशुघ्नात्. Only an animal will give up the nectarian pastimes of Krishna. So therefore Parikshit Maharaj is always saying, "Oh Shukdev Goswami, please keep on glorifying. I am not feeling hunger and thirst. I am just depending on nectar of Harikatha. Na esha adi dussa shanmam tyaktodam apibadate pibantam twan mukham boja chutam Harikathamritam." He says, hunger and thirst is not affecting me. Continue Harikatha. So that is the eagerness a devotee should have in hearing Harikatha. That if I don't hear Harikatha, don't hear Bhagavatam regularly, understand all the details of Bhagavatam, then we will not develop attraction for Krishna. So it is described that the creation topics, although they look very, very difficult to understand, but actually Acharyas say that they are easy than the 10th canto pastimes. Somebody may say, what easy? 10th canto pastimes are so easy, just hear the Krishna Leela, Bal Leela, or Gopal, what he's doing, killing of the demons. And what is this creation? Third canto, second canto, all that complex topics of creation, everything goes overhead. And now we'll see, everything will go overhead only. All the 10th, all the sixth canto, fifth canto cosmology. So why Parikshit Maharaj is asking all this? Because this is very, very important aspect. We have to nourish our intelligence. We have to understand that Krishna has made such a huge creation. What is the purpose of this creation? There is only one purpose of this creation: for our Krishna wanted to satisfy our desire of controlling this world. Just for the free will, Krishna has given to every living entity. Krishna has to do so much. That shows the magnanimous nature of Krishna. That's how a devotee should understand, hearing all these wonderful descriptions about the cosmology, Vedic cosmology, and the creation pastimes. So therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is not asking for himself. He is asking for every one of us. So now, after hearing this, Shukdev Goswami starts describing. He says, first of all, he says the same thing. He says, actually, O Parikshit Maharaj, nobody can understand the end of the Lord's material energy. Material energy of the Lord, Bhagavato Maya Guna Vibhuti, the material energy of the Lord, which is a transformation of the three modes of material nature. Even in a lifetime of Brahma, one cannot understand. So therefore he says that material energy of the Lord is very, very difficult to understand. But he says still, although it is difficult, I will try to explain. I will describe only the principal things. I will not explain everything. Pradhanyata. Whatever is principle, I will describe. And what is that? I will describe this Bhumandal. This Bhumandal with its particular characteristics, various varshas, the measurements, the form, everything. So now Parikshit Maharaj begins the discussion. He says that Shukdev Goswami begins. So as you can see the cursor, you know, so he says that this Bhumandala, it is like a lotus flower, as you can see in this slide. It is like a lotus flower. It is just a pictorial description of Bhumandala. Shukdev Goswami says this Bhumandala is like a lotus flower, and it's 7 islands. These are the 7 islands. Each island is surrounded by a ocean. So this Bhumandala, innermost is Jambu Dvipa. Then after that is ocean of salt. Then Plaksha Dvipa, Shalmali Dvipa, and like that. Every Dvipa is like concentric ring. It is surrounded by a ocean of similar width. So then he says that the middle island, this island which is in the middle, that is called Jambu Dvipa. And this Jambu Dvipa, it is like a lotus leaf. So to understand this fifth canto cosmology, we have to understand the third canto creation. We discussed the creation of the whole universe by Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and then further by Brahmaji, Sarga and Visarga. So quickly we'll see what is the primary creation of the universe. So Mahavishnu or Karanodakshay Vishnu, as he is lying in the ocean, Dravya, the matter, comes out of the skin pores of Karanodakshay Vishnu. That is called Pradhan. Pradhan along with the gunas imbued in that. Mahavishnu or Karanodakshay Vishnu glances on this, and it impregnates this Pradhan with Kala, Karma, Swabhav, and Jiva. And because of this glance of Karanodakshay Vishnu, Pradhana transforms into Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva, under the influence of the time, agitated by the three modes, becomes transformed into Mahat Tattva in the mode of goodness, then Mahat Tattva in the mode of passion, and then Mahat Tattva in the mode of ignorance. Mahat Tattva in the mode of ignorance is called Ahankar. Ahankar further gets transformed under the three modes and forms all the 23 elements of creation. All the 23 elements are there. The sense devatas are created, but they are not able to combine to form a universe. So the devatas, they pray to the Lord, "Oh Lord, we are not able to do this service. Please help us." Lord sends his cohesive energy that is called Bibhrat Shakti, and the universal shell is formed. In this universal shell, Garbhodaksha Vishnu enters, fills half of the universe with his sweat because there is no place to stay. So he fills half the universe with his own sweat. That becomes Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And he resides, he sits on the Ananta Shesha here. From the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, a lotus flower comes. So a lotus flower has three parts: the uppermost flower, middle stem, and the lotus leaf. So then on that lotus flower, Brahmaji is born. So now Brahmaji has to make the secondary creation. Now all the 14 planetary systems and everything has to be made. So now what Brahmaji does, Brahmaji uses the ingredients of this flower because that is the only ingredient which is available. So from the lotus leaf of this lotus flower, he makes this Bhumandala. So generally lotus leaf is, it floats on the water. So this Bhumandala is floating just above the surface of Garbhodak Sagar because it is supported by Ananta Shesh. So that is this Bhumandala. This Bhumandala is the leaf of that lotus flower. So now Shukdev Goswami describes that this Bhumandala is 0.1 million yojanas in length and breadth. Although this Bhumandala, this Jambu Dvipa, sorry, not Bhumandala, this Jambu Dvipa, the middle part, this Jambu Dvipa, although it is circular, this Jambu Dvipa has a length and width of 0.1 million yojanas. 1 million is 10 lakhs. So 0.1 million yojanas in length and width. And 1 yojana is 8 miles or 12 kilometers. So this is now the description of Jambu Dvipa. So now Shukdev Goswami says that Jambu Dvipa has 9 divisions of land. As you can see in this picture, the 9 divisions of land, they are called Varsha. And there are so many numbers which are written on the slide. Don't worry about that. So these are the Varshas, you know. So this Kuru Varsha, then Hiranmaya Varsha, Ramyak Varsha, Ilavrat Varsha, Bhadrashva Varsha, Ketumal Varsha, Hari Varsha, Kim Purusha Varsha, and Bharat Varsha. So these are the 9 Varsha. Varsha means the division of land. So why I have put this verse here on this slide? Because this is a verse which is quoted by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. This is from Vayu Puran. So this verse describes the shapes of all the Varshas. So these are not some imaginations, you know, it is not that, oh, ek mountain dal diya idhar, no. Dhanurvat samsthite. Dhanurvat means like a bow. It is described that 2 Varsha, Dve Varshe, 2 Varshas, they are like bow. And you can see the uppermost Varsha, that is Kuru Varsha, and the lowermost Varsha, that is Bharat Varsha. They are like the shape of a bow. Then 4 other Varshas, he writes, 4 other Varshas, they are long. You know, which are the long Varshas? You can see Hiranmaya Varsha is very long, Ramyak Varsha is very long, Hari Varsha, and Kim Purusha Varsha. I hope this is understandable, whatever you know, it is there on the slide. So these are the 4 Varshas which are long. And then it says, so the Sanskrit is Dirghani Tatra Chatwari. Chatwari means 4 are long. Then he says 1 Varsha, that is Ilavrit Varsha, is Chaturashram. Chaturashram means square. So you can see the middle one is the square Varsha, that is Ilavrit Varsha. And then it is described that there is 1 Varsha in the south, that is Bharat Varsha, other in the north, that is Uttara Kuru. So after that he says that there are two Varshas who are also like bow shaped. Bow shaped means you can see they are surrounded, bordered by Nila mountain and Nishad mountain. You can see this is Nila mountain. So all these long things, you can see it is written mountain, Nila mountain and Nishad mountain. So it is described that these mountains, they enclose other two Varshas, that is Ketumal Varsha and Bhadrashva Varsha. So, and whatever is written, you can, if you want to note, you can note that the length and width of the various Varshas. So then after that, he describes that this Ilavrat Varsha is situated in the middle like a whirl of the lotus. You can see this is the Ilavrat Varsha, which is situated in the middle like a whirl of the lotus. And then Shukdev Goswami says in the middle of this Ilavrat Varsha, there is a mountain of gold that is called Meru mountain. As you can see the pointer, the M is written, that means that is a Meru mountain which is made up of gold. So now after this, Shukdev Goswami says, describes the what is that Meru mountain. So this Meru mountain or Sumeru mountain, it is same. Sometimes it is called as Meru, sometimes called Sumeru. So it is described that this Meru mountain is of the height which is same as Jambu Dvipa. So this is whole Jambu Dvipa, and this is the Meru mountain. So height of the Meru mountain, that means from top to the bottom, is the same as the width of this Jambu Dvipa. So the width of this Jambu Dvipa is 1 lakh yojanas. And the height of this Meru mountain is also 1 lakh yojanas. As you can see, this is the width of this Jambu Dvipa, which is written here 1 lakh yojanas, and the height from here to here, that is also 1 lakh yojanas. But the interesting thing is, just like for a mountain, there should be a support. It should be rooted in the ground. So this mountain is 84,000 yojanas above the ground and 16,000 yojanas under the ground. So basically this Bhumandal is the earth, not our earth. Our earth planet, we'll see what is that. So this Bhumandala is earth planet, that is called Bhumandala. So this mountain is 84,000 yojanas above and 16,000 yojanas below. And then it is described the width of the summit. So uppermost summit of the Meru mountain, the width of this is from here to here, it is 32,000 yojanas, and the downmost part is 16,000 yojanas, this one. So after this is another view, yeah. So this is the side view, this is another 3D view of this Sumeru mountain. So this is whole Sumeru mountain, and the top, this is the top part, this is the bottom, and this is the underground part. You can see the height of the Meru mountain, it is here written 84,000 yojanas, and the underground is the 16,000 yojanas, and other things you should not see because it will be more bewildering. So just see the Sumeru mountain, it is 84,000 yojanas above the ground and 16,000 yojanas below the ground. Now we'll go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is very, very important description of whole Jambu Dvipa. So now Shukdev Goswami describes the various mountains and the various varshas of Jambu Dvipa. He says in the middle there is a Ilavrit Varsha. As you can see the pointer, this is a Ilavrit Varsha. So northern side, you can see there is a north, east, west, south, which is there. So on the northern side of Ilavrit Varsha, there are three mountain ranges: Mount Nila, Mount Shweta, and Mount Shringavan. On the southern side of this Ilavrat Varsha, there is Mount Nishada, Mount Hemakuta, and Mount Himalaya. So these are the mountain ranges in the Jambu Dvipa. Apart from these 6 mountain ranges, there are 2 more: Mountain Malyavan and Mountain Gandhamadhan. So these are the prominent mountain ranges which divide this whole Jambu Dvipa into 9 varshas. And then this is another picture which shows the various dimensions of the dimensions of various varshas. So we'll not go into the detail of all these dimensions. So this is another view of whole Jambu Dvipa, how it looks. So in middle you can see there is Sumeru mountain, and then these are the various varshas: 3 varshas above, 3 varshas below, one on the western side, Ketumal Varsha, other on the eastern side, that is Bhadrashva Varsha. So now there is another picture of Ilavrat Varsha. So now so Shukdev Goswami is now zooming in, So first he described all the varshas. Now he is describing this only middle part. So what is there in this middle Ilavrat Varsha? So this middle Ilavrat Varsha has lots of mountain ranges. As you can see, in this Ilavrat Varsha, which is surrounded by 4 mountains: Mount Nila, you can see the pointer on the northern side; Mount Nishada on the southern side; Mount Malyavan, and Mount Gandhamadhan. So now Shukdev Goswami says that this is the golden mountain Sumeru. So around this golden mountain Sumeru, there are 4 mountains which are Mandar. Mandar is here. This is Mount Mandar. Okay. On the eastern side is the Mount Mandar. Then Meru Mandar on the southern side. Then there is a Mount Suparshva on the western side. And there is a Mount Kumoda on the northern side. So then length and width of the mountains are, length and the height of the mountains are given. They are 10,000 yojanas. So length of the mountain is 10,000 yojanas. You can see here, it is written 10,000. And also the height of this mountain is also 10,000 yojanas. So all the 4 mountains, Mount Mandar, Mount Meru Mandar, Suparshva, and Kumuda, all are 10,000 yojanas high. We cannot even imagine such huge mountains. Our Himalaya is few 100 meters, and that is the highest mountain. But these mountains, they are many thousand yojanas, 10,000 yojanas in height and length. So then Shukdev Goswami describes particular features about these mountains. He says that on this Mount Mandar, as you can see the pointer, on this Mount Mandar, there is a tree. There is a small tree which you can see. This tree is called Devachut tree. This is a mango tree. Then on this Mount Meru Mandar, there is a rose apple tree. We'll see the height and width of all these trees. Then in Mount Suparshva, there is a sugar cane tree. There is a Kadamba tree, sorry. There is a Kadamba tree. And on Mount Kumuda, there is a banyan tree, which is called Shatavalsha. So now, all these trees, their height is 100 yojana. 1 yojana is 8 miles or 12 kilometers. So all these trees, Devachyuta tree, Jambu tree, then a sugar cane, this Kadamba tree and Shatavalsha tree, they are 100 yojanas in 100 yojanas in width, and they are 1100 yojanas in height. Such huge trees. Then Shukdev Goswami says that there are lakes on all of these mountains. So as you can see in this picture, there is a mountain here, there is a lake on the Mandar tree. So this Mandar tree lake is filled with uh, pure uh, yeah, so this is filled with pure milk. And then the Mandar, the mountain lake of Meru Mandar is filled with honey. And this mountain lake of this Suparshva is filled with sugar cane juice. And this mountain lake of this Kumuda is filled with pure water. So in these mountains, all the Siddhas and Charanas and Gandharvas, they come and they enjoy there in these mountains and these four lakes. So, and apart from that, there are beautiful gardens on all these mountains. On this Mandar mountain, as you can see the pointer, there is a Nandan garden. You know, we have heard this Nandan Kanan, that is there in the heaven also, but there is one Nandan garden here also, where the demigods, they come and enjoy. And in this Nandan garden, all the Siddhas and Charanas, they come to enjoy. So then in this Mount Meru Mandar, there is a garden called Chitraratha. In the Mount Suparshva, there is a garden called Vibhrajaka. And in the Mount Kumuda, there is a garden called Sarvato Bhadra. So now interesting thing is described here. So this Mount Mandar, as you can see, the tree is of mango. So when the mango tree has fruits always, this mango tree, and these fruits are so huge, when this huge nectarian mangoes, they fall down, you know, the mangoes break open, sorry, yeah, so the mangoes, they break open and it forms a river. So a river is formed out of these mangoes and it flows out, which is called as Arunoda river. And as you can see here, the pointer is there. This is Arunoda river. So this is a river of mango. Similarly, this jambu tree or a rose apple tree, there is a river which flows from the base of this tree, which is called Jambu Nadi. And the jambu, or the, you know, we call jamun. So the jambu of these fruits, they are like the size of elephants. And when these fruits, they fall down, they break open, they form this Jambu Nadi. And now there is an interesting thing which is described by Shukdeva Goswami. He says that, you know, the mud from the banks of this Jambu Nadi, when it is moistened by the Jambu fruit juice, and then it is dried by the air and sunshine, it transforms into gold. And that is called Jambu Nada. So the gold is available freely there. And all the devatas and all the Gandharvas and heavenly denizens, they use this gold to make ornaments for their beautiful wives. And now Prabhupada, he never leaves a chance. He says, Prabhupada talks about the natural arrangement for prosperity. He says, in modern days now, modern girls and ladies, they wear plastic ornaments and they are proud of their wealth. But just see, the glory of natural living is nature provides everything. People of this age, they are manda, sumanda matayo, manda bhagya upadritaha. Because people, they are unintelligent, they don't understand the actual purpose of human form. They don't understand how to use this body to enjoy also. People want to enjoy, but they don't know how to enjoy. Therefore, when people, they learn to live according to the principles of Krishna consciousness, they will naturally be joyful. And then Prabhupada writes that actually devotees are not interested in any of this material enjoyment. And Prabhupada quotes this Shikshashtakam verse, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Budau Kripaya Tava Pad Pankaja Dhuli Sthita Dhuli Sadrisham Vichintaya. So devotee of the Lord is not interested in any of these enjoyments. He is interested only in serving Krishna. And then Prabhupada quotes this bhajan by Narottam Das Thakur also. Ha ha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Brishabhano Sutta Yuta Karuna Karoi Bara. Say he is praying, Narottam Das Thakur is praying. Please, O my Lord, please show mercy to this fallen soul. Karuna Karoi Bar. So this is what Prabhupada is writing in the purport. And then after this, Shukdev Goswami continues the discussion that on Mount Suparshva, there is a Kadamba tree, and from the hollows of this tree, the 5 rivers of honey flows. And each honey river is 12 meters wide. 12 meters wide river of honey. Just and like this, 5 rivers are there. And these rivers, they spread all over the Ilavrat Varsha on the western side only. You know, this is the western side. So these rivers, they flood the entire, they flow through the entire western side of this Ilavrat Varsha. And because of this river, there is a pleasing fragrance which is created. And then Shukdev Goswami says, anyone who drinks this honey, his mouth becomes fragrant, and the perfume of the mouth of the person, it goes to 100 yojanas. That's how strong, pleasing fragrance of this honey is. Then on this Mount Kumuda, there is a Shatavalsha or banyan tree, and from the roots of this tree, this tree is 100 branch. From this root of this tree, 100 branched river flows, and that river is full of pure waters. And Prabhupada writes that because of this river, all the people staying in this northern side of Ilavrat Varsha, they are benefited. And this river supplies everything to the people of the northern side of Ilavrat Varsha: milk, yogurt, honey, molasses, food, rains, clothing, everything. So Prabhupada writes again, prosperity of human civilization does not depend on demoniac enterprises. You know, all the gigantic skyscrapers and the huge automobiles, they are not required. Mother Nature is sufficient. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, when a profuse supply of rainwater is there and some land is there, everything can be produced. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha yagyad bhavati parjanyo yagyah karma samudbhavaha. So Prabhupada quotes this verse from Bhagavad Gita. So everything is provided by Mother Nature. When living entities, they live their life according to the principles given in the scriptures. So in the 10th canto also, it is described how the Brajvasis, although they were very simple cowherd women and men, all the Brajvasis, they were having ample amount of food grains, ample amount of milk, butter, everything. Gopa paraspararishta dugdha shira ghritambubi asinchanto vilimpanto navanitaischa chikshipu. So it is described when Krishna was born in the Nandotsav festival, how they were celebrating Nandotsav. So all the Gopas, what they were doing? They were throwing buttermilk, yogurt, milk, butter, and they were smearing the cheeks of each other with ghee, buttermilk, and ghee, yogurt, and butter. That is the opulence of Brindavan. In today's age, if anybody hears this, he will get a shock. क्या कर रहे हैं ये लोग? They are wasting all this. आजकल खाने के लिए नहीं मिल रहा है. And these people are throwing. Asinchanto vilimpanto navanitascha chikshipu. Navanit means butter. They are rubbing butter on each other's faces. So that is the glory of Vedic civilization. So Shukdev Goswami says that all the denizens of Ilavrat Varsha, they are very happy because of these rivers. They do not experience wrinkle on their bodies. They do not experience gray hair, fatigue. They don't have any bad odor. They are not afflicted by even old age. They are not afflicted by disease. There is no untimely death. And Prabhupada writes, they do not suffer from heat and cold and all the city atmosphere. Their bodily luster never grows. So therefore, Prabhupada again writes, Prabhupada never leaves a chance to glorify the Vedic culture. He writes, this verse, this is the 25th verse of this 15th, 16th chapter. This verse hints at the perfection of human society even within the material world. So this is not a spiritual world. This is Bhumandal. There is no disease. There is no fatigue. All the senses perfectly all right. Prabhupada writes, cow killing, industry-based civilization can never be happy. They must suffer from all the miseries of materialism. So that is the description of Ilavrat Varsha. So now, so this is a summary of what we have discussed so far. So we saw that there are 4 rivers on the, there are 4 mountains on the 4 directions, and then there is a lake. In Mandar mountain, there is a lake of milk. In the Meru Mandar, there is a lake of honey. And then in Suparsho, there is a lake of sugarcane juice. In Kumuda, there is a lake of pure water. And then the garden is there also. And in these lakes and gardens, the demigods enjoys with their wives. And then on the Mandar mountain, there is a mango tree called Devachuta. On the Meru Mandar, there is a jambu tree. Because of this tree, jambu tree, this dvipa is called as Jambu Dvipa. Similarly, we'll see in further sessions how every dvipa is named after a particular entity. So these are the various trees on every mountain and the description of the various things which are given. So now after this, yeah, so okay. So now after this, there is a description of another mountain range. As you can see, there are 4 mountains we saw: Kumuda, Mandar, Meru Mandar. You can just follow the cursor, and Suparshva. These are the 4 mountain ranges. But you may be wondering, there are more 8 more mountains, surrounding Meru, Mount Meru, and there are some dots. These are all dots. If you can see, all around the Mount Meru, there are dots. If you count, there are 20 dots. What are these 20 dots? These are again mountains, which are called Kesarachal mountains. You can see here it is written Kesarachal mountains. So these are the 20 mountains which are beautifully arranged around the Mount Meru. They are like the filaments. They are very, very thin filament like mountains. And each mountain has a name. Kuranga, Kurara, Kushumba, Vaikanka, Trikuta, Shishira, Patanga, Ruchaka, Nishada, Srinivasa, Kapila, Shankha, Vaidurya, Jarudhi, Hamsa, Rishabha, Naga, Kalanjara, and Narada. So these are the 20 mountains called Kesharachal mountains. And apart from that, there are 8 more mountains. On the eastern side of Sumeru, that is this eastern side, you can see the cursor is there. First is Jathara mountain. Second is Devachyuta mountain. Sorry, Devakut mountain. Then on the western side, that is this, on the side of Suparshva, there is a Pavan mountain and there is a Pariyatra mountain. On the south side, you can see there is a very, very special and important mountain, Mount Kailash. This is the Kailash where Lord Shiva and Parvati lives. We have heard about the Kailash. That is not our Kailash, which is there in India, in Badrinath. Lord Shiva lives in this Kailash, Mount Kailash, which is around this Sumeru mountain. And there is one more mountain called Mount Karavira. And then on the north side, there are 2 more mountains, Mount Makara and Mount Trishanga. Now, there is a side view of this Meru mountain, and you can see there are Kesarachal mountains, as you can see the cursor. All these Kesarachal mountains, they are surrounding this Mount Sumeru. And what is the height of these Kesarachal mountains? So these Kesarachal mountains, they go almost up to the little below the tip of Sumeru mountain. As you can see till here, it is there. So all the Kesarachal mountains, they are very thin mountains which go right up to the little below the Sumeru mountain. So this this Meru mountain is made of solid gold, and it is as brilliant as fire. So now we'll go ahead. So I think this is the last thing we'll discuss today. So this is the top view of Mount Meru. So this Mount Meru, this is the Meru or Sumeru, this is the same thing. So now we are seeing the top view. What is there on the top of this mountain? As you can see the cursor, what is there on the top of this mountain? So this is the top view of this mountain. So on this mountain, there are townships of Brahmaji. This is the township of Brahma, along with the Lokpalas. There are 8 townships of the 8 Lokpalas. So township of Brahma is known as Brahmapuri or Shatakumbhi or Manovati. So this township is made entirely of gold, and it is in the center of this summit of the Meru mountain. And then apart from that, there are mountains, there are townships of the 8 Lokpal, Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva has his place in many places, in many regions. His wherever he comes, he resides here and has some time to rest or some recreation. That's how many devatas are. These devatas, they have places all over the universe. Just like Indra has Amravati, Agni has Tejovati, Yamraj, this is the place again, Yamraj, that is called Samyamani. And then Niritti, Varuna has a place, Vayudev has a place, and Kuvera has a township. So this is the top view of the Mount Meru. So this is the end of the 16th chapter. So I hope you could understand something. So we'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, you can ask. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.